The internet was taken aback when a few pictures and videos from China's eastern port city of Zhoushan surfaced on social media platforms. The viral clips showed how the skies turned blood red over the weekend. The rare phenomenon created panic among the residents as well. People fear that some end times prophecy is unfolding through this scary event, but is it? So in this video, we are going to talk about the rapture sign of China blood skies. Time is near. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. While some thought it to be a grave fire attack nearby, others assumed it to be an indication of an apocalypse. People recorded and clicked pictures of the skies turning crimson red. They took to Twitter and shared a glimpse of the vast red skies. Many of the users termed the phenomenon a bad omen over the Chinese government's handling of COVID-19 in the country. One user wrote, "Blood red sky. Fear of apocalypse spreads in Chinese city. Footage from the port city of Zhoushan near Shanghai shows the sky turned blood red under thick layers of fog. Local residents panicked that the end of days had arrived and called the red sky a bad omen for China. According to local authorities, the incidents don't have to do with solar activity. The Zhoushan Meteorological Bureau said it was foggy and cloudy in Zhoushan on Saturday, and it was drizzling at the time of the red sky, which might have been caused by the reflection of light from the low-level clouds. When weather conditions are good, more water in the atmosphere forms aerosols which refract and scatter the light of fishing boats and create the red sky seen by the public. For all the people believing that the end of the world is near, probably it is coming." Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. However, it doesn't start with a blood-red sky in China. Historians have found 300-year-old documents from China, Korea, and Japan that contain eyewitness accounts of a similar event. According to the accounts, in September of 1770, the skies over the region glowed red, and the event continued for more than a week. Researchers studying the event told Live Science in 2017 that they theorized the red skies were caused by a giant geomagnetic storm that rivaled the most powerful one on record, the so-called Carrington event of 1859. The article explained such magnetic storms happen when solar eruptions hit the Earth's magnetosphere, the shell of electrically charged particles trapped by the Earth's magnetic field. In Israel, commentators who heard about the latest blood-red skies in China brought up a familiar biblical reference. During historic events like this, Bible scholars often point to the book of Joel in the Old Testament, where a verse describes blood and fire and pillars of smoke in the skies. Joel 2:30-31 reads, "And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come." And in the book of Revelations 6:12, a blood moon also is prophesied. "And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood." Numerous blood moon events have occurred throughout history since those passages were written, but Jesus told his followers that we should observe the signs of the times, including signs in the heavens. Students of biblical prophecy point to other historic events like the restoration of the modern state of Israel in 1948, the return of millions of Jews to the Holy Land, and potential precursors to the biblical mark of the beast as further signs of the end times. Irving Baxter, who runs End Time Ministries in Plano, Texas, was quoted that God often uses the heavens to send signs to mankind, pointing out that the three wise men were led to the birthplace of the baby Jesus by a star. There are several prophecies foretelling that the moon will be turned to blood in the end time, he said. He also warned that previous tetrads have had stark consequences for the Jews. The Spanish Inquisition took place before the tetrad of 1493-94. The tetrad of 1949-50 occurred just after the founding of Israel. The tetrad of 1967-1968 occurred as the Six-Day War was fought in Jerusalem, the Guardian reported him saying. The current tetrad, Baxter predicts, will precede the signing of a peace agreement between Israel and Palestine. This, in turn, will mark the beginning of the final 7 years to Armageddon and the second coming of Jesus to the earth. The full blood moon caused by the lunar eclipse is framed by the U.S. flags blowing in the breeze on the National Mall in Washington, Tuesday, November 8, 2022. The rare event has sparked some church leaders to look for any prophetic significance in these tumultuous times. During such an eclipse, the moon is almost entirely obscured, only allowing a small amount of the sun's light to be seen. Those peaking rays give the moon its orange or blood red hue. All of the scriptures refer to the moon turning blood red as a heavenly sign the end times are fast approaching. While no one knows for sure which event those scripture references are referring to, the imagery created by solar and lunar eclipses often leads to questions about their potential biblical significance. Some church leaders and pastors are saying the timing of this year's lunar eclipse has prophetic significance because of its connection to elections in both Israel and the U.S. According to NASA, the full moon appeared red in both North and South America and Europe and Africa as part of a total lunar eclipse on May 15 to 16. A lunar eclipse is caused by the moon going through Earth's shadow in space. It began at approximately 9:32 p.m. Eastern Time on May 15. The greatest part of the eclipse was seen around 12:12 a.m. Eastern. The totality of this unusually long eclipse lasted 1 hour and 24 minutes. While the lunar eclipse phenomenon does happen periodically, Hank Kunneman, pastor of Lord of Hosts Church in Nebraska, says this particular occurrence lines up with events on God's calendar. This is the time on God's calendar, and he is calling it God's term, God's turning or mid-turning. And I really believe that we are in a place, right now, in our nation, of Deuteronomy 6:23. God brought the nation out. He's going to bring us out, and we are going to see it. To bring us in. To give us, it says, the land that he promised, he explained. He continued, God likened it to the Red Sea. When the Israelites were in the middle of the Red Sea was when God determined it was his terms and his turning point. It's a sign of great things coming for the earth, he said. It's a harvest, it's reformation, it's revival. It will be a new era that will have new faces and people that will rise up and bring hope back to this country and bring about a future for our children. Actually, individual total lunar eclipses are not uncommon, and even consecutive pairs of total eclipses are quite common. A sequence of 4 total lunar eclipses, without any partial eclipses interrupting the sequence, is called a tetrad. Tetrads are not evenly spread throughout the passage of time. Now, there is a special kind of tetrad. Tetrads in which all 4 blood moons occur on biblical feast days only occur on average about once every 250 years. There were no feast day tetrads in the 16th century, and no tetrads at all of any kind in the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries. In the 20th century, there were 5 tetrads, of which just 2 were feast day tetrads. There has also been 1 feast day tetrad in the 21st century, and it was also highly significant. There will be no more feast day tetrads in the 21st century, though. In fact, according to the NASA website, the next feast day tetrad is projected to occur around 560 years in the future. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.